Hey Renee, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Okay, my name's Mickey, and I'm the counselor here at Franklin High. The principal actually recommended that you come see me. You're not in trouble or anything.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a time like we can meet, and I just want to hear a little bit more maybe about how this transition. I heard that you're transitioning into Franklin. I want to kind of hear how that's going and.
Well, it's freshman year, so it's kind of a weird transition anyway. I moved here about 2 years ago and it was I guess a year into middle school, so it wasn't like a weird transition, but I kind of left everything back in California because my grandma ended up getting an injury and she had a hip replacement, and so it was kind of good timing because my parents just decided that living in California wasn't the greatest place to raise a teenager. And so, since my grandma's by herself and she had the hip replacement, they wanted me to come back out here and live with her. So it's been interesting. I mean, it can be kind of boring because you're just living with your grandma, but it's been okay.
Right. And how is this your school in California? Is this one similar or?
It's definitely a lot smaller.
A lot smaller, yeah.
Franklin is definitely a lot smaller than it was in California. It's interesting. It's a different kind of interesting. Like, it's really, I guess, diverse is the right word out in California.
Mm-hmm.
Here it's kind of like all the same kind of people.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been, interesting is kind of just like the key word. It's been weird, but a good weird, I guess.
Yeah, no, for sure. Well, so this time that we have to meet it's completely confidential, but I just want to tell you I am a mandated reporter. So if you said anything about hurting yourself or someone else, then I would have to tell someone else. But other than that, everything we talk about is confidential. So just feel free to bring up whatever is bothering you or anything along that. But I just want to kind of hear how your friends, how have you been making friends? Do you feel like you have a friend group here? How's that been going?
For the most part, like I said, the people are very different here than they are in California, but also, I feel like everybody's still kind of trying to find their place a little bit.
Right.
Most of the people I'm around are freshmen, and so, we're all kind of trying to figure out high school since it's a little different. But we're a little far into the year, I guess, so it's kind of it's getting easier. Everybody's kind of finding their place. I think the weirdest thing is that, not everybody, you might not have classes with your friends all the time, so you kind of try to figure out, who you can make friends with there. So it's...
Right, you have your friends in your classes, and then
your friends,
group,
So,
right.
And it's been okay, but, high school and, high school drama, always comes into play. But it's been, I've done, I guess, a pretty decent job at finding friends. Some of my friends from middle school came to Franklin, so, I had them, but... Yeah, it's definitely a bigger crowd than middle school, but it's been,
Do you feel like you have people outside, on the weekends? Do you run with people that go to school here?
For the most part, yeah. I definitely, it's kind of hard sometimes just because with my grandma and her needing help all the time, So it's been kind of hard on weekends and stuff to be able to go out and during the day we're in school during the week, and then at night there's homework. So it's been a little difficult getting out and doing a lot, but the friends that I do have seem to kind of understand that,
Yeah, that's great. How do you feel? Do you feel like it's a lot of pressure on you to take care of your grandma? How's that? How have you been handling that?
It's not pressure. It's just not, I guess, normal. Normal people don't necessarily have to take care of their grandmas. Most people don't live with their grandmas, with their parents across the country. So it's not pressure, because I love her, so I don't mind doing it. But it's a little weird, and it's sometimes people just don't get it. They're like, you live with your grandma, why don't you live with your parents? And then they're like, oh, well, your parents dead? And I'm no, they just live in another state. Yeah. So then that's a whole other conversation. But I would say it's pressure.
How's your grandma's health right now?
Her health is okay, but her hip itself, the replacement has been giving her some issues, and they aren't sure if it's weather change or what's going on, because the big surgery was 2 years ago, and so now they're trying to figure out really what's going on. And so I've been having to help her a lot more lately, almost more like I did in the beginning than I did in the last few months or so. And so that has made things a little difficult, just because she's needed more of my attention lately.
Right.
And that kind of just makes things a little stressful. And then I know she feels bad because she doesn't want to pull me away from anything, but yeah, her health overall is fine. She's her hip's been giving her a lot of problems.
But other than that, she's pretty well. Is she able to cook for herself?
It depends. It really depends. There are times she kind of can't get up and really do anything, and then there are other times she can kind of do her own thing. And so it's really dependent on like the day by day kind of thing.
Wow. Is it a 1-story house or?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Luckily, so like
That's
there's
nice.
no way she could do stairs. Probably
Right.
she'd be trapped up there or either downstairs. So that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like that's just a lot, especially for you as a freshman.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a huge responsibility that most, married people try
Yeah.
to, so I can't imagine how you're dealing with it. Can you drive yet?
No, I can't yet. I get my license. I got my permit, but I don't have my license, so I should get my license around the summer. So like that'll make things a little easier.
Yeah,
but we don't live super far from the school, so.
Do you
that's
usually
nice.
walk? Or
I
do your
usually
friends
walk.
bring you?
I don't really have a lot of upperclassmen friends, so like none of them can really drive either. But for the most part, I walk because like the bus, it's no point to take it since we are so close.
Right.
Unless it's like in the winter and it's freezing cold or something. But for the most part, yeah, I walk, so it's easy to get back and forth.
Yeah, maybe I might look into that. Maybe trying to get you a hardship license or something.
Okay, yeah.
I might do some more research, make a note of that, and that could maybe be something.
Really
but then
helpful.
you would have to get a car as well, so
Yeah.
that could be a whole nother
Yeah.
thing of issues. But maybe look into that. So, have your parents thought about maybe moving out here to be? What do they do in California?
My dad is actually a newspaper reporter, and so it's kind of like the big scenes for that are very like LA and New York kind of thing if you really want to make a career out of it. And so he loves it on that coast. That's where my stepmom is from, and so that's why they moved back out there because she was over here for work, and then they met and all of that, got married and moved out there. And I was there for a while, and then my grandpa passed away, and then my grandma's health started to decline. And so it was kind of like, well, LA isn't really the greatest scene to raise a kid in anyway. Let's send Renee back. And so it was like a weird series of events. My dad has kind of brought it up occasionally about maybe coming back here, but then at the same time, like, I feel kind of bad in that because there's really no, like, big career for a reporter out in Franklin. So, yeah, there's been, like, a little buzz about it, but nothing too, like, serious.
Right. Has he thought about maybe doing anything online, that would allow him until you graduated,
Yeah.
Just something to give you a little more support, because I just feel like this is a lot for you as a freshman in high school,
It can be. I think, though, like, I guess it's kind of, I don't know, I guess it's like a way for me to like indirectly help people, like they're furthering their careers, like I'm helping my grandma, and like I'm still getting like my education and everything, and like I'm living, you know what I mean?
Right.
So it's not like too like terrible on anyone. Like, I mean, I miss them and I know they miss me, but like they visit like on holidays and stuff. It's not like I never see them ever, like major holidays. It's almost like reverse school breaks, like instead of me going somewhere, like they come to me kind of thing. And like they're there for like the important stuff, like birthdays and stuff. They try to come in. So I mean, yeah, it's not like I was completely like ripped away from them or anything.
Right.
But and it was also like it wasn't a super weird transition either, I guess, because I was like kind of young, I guess. It wasn't like in the middle of high school, like right before senior year or something. I was ripped from California and brought here. So it was kind of like right before like a major part of like my education, I guess. So it was good-ish timing if it was going to happen.
If there is going to happen, it was the best time.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's good that you have, I mean, that's a really big thing, I feel like, that you have a good grasp on it, because I just, sometimes I feel like people would resent their parents or something, but y'all can still maintain a good, healthy relationship. Do you feel like it's healthy?
I do. I mean, we talk almost every day.
Okay.
Sometimes, like, I'll get busy or they'll get busy, and, like, it'll just be, like, a text here or there. But, I mean, for the most part, yeah, like, we still communicate, like, we'll FaceTime or Skype or something like that, and so, like, that's helpful. It is hard, though, like, not being able to, like, physically see them and, like, know what they're doing and, like, be with them all the time. Like, we don't randomly just, like, go do things as a family, which kind of sucks. Because I know, like, a lot of the times, like, my friends here, like, they're with their families all the time. And it's very, like, oh, like, Hallmark Christmas card kind of thing.
Right.
Which kind of sucks. But, it's, at the same time, it's just kind of like, like, eventually, like, in 3 more years, like, I'll graduate and go off to college anyway.
Right, and that was, like, another question I was going to ask you. What will happen to your grandma after that?
I'm not really sure. Probably either they'll have to move back here or they'll have to move her out there. Knowing her, she's probably not going to want to move out there.
Right.
But I'm sure, like, they'll all figure it out at some point. And I don't really know, like, where I'm going to go to college at. I have no idea, really, what I want to do. So, like, it might be close enough
you
here.
have plenty of time.
Yeah, so I'm sure, all be figured out by that point.
Yeah, it's definitely something to start looking into, but obviously you're good.
Yeah.
But get in touch with like the college counselors that we have here as like a resource to you. You know, kind of start just looking at your resume and getting ready for the ACT.
Yeah.
And just keep your GPA up. How are your grades doing?
They're okay. There's some classes right now that are just kind of like kicking my butt a little bit.
Yeah.
But for the most part, like they've been pretty good. I mean, school is school, so it's just kind of like, and since I don't really know what I want to do, like I haven't found that one thing that I want to like really focus on.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of just like going to class because I'm required to go to these classes. But I mean, overall, I think it's like pretty decent. Like they aren't like terrible. I'm not like failing out or anything like that.
Right.
But they could probably be better. And I think a lot of that too is just kind of like figuring out like what I want to do and like the direction I want to go, I guess. If that makes sense.
No, for sure. But the principal had mentioned to me that you had missed a few days of school. And so what's kind of going on there?
Those usually are like when my grandma needs help and like it's a bad day with like her hip and stuff. It's usually when I stay home and try to like help her get around. And like some days like I'll try to come in like after roll and like after the day's begun and like pick up in classes wherever I am.
Right.
But for the most part, like if she needs my help, I'm kind of there all day long. And like I try to stay on top of my work, which has kind of, I guess, affected my grades, like homework grade and stuff. Like it doesn't always get turned in, and like that kind of pulls my grade down. But for the most part, like it's unless like I was sick or something, like I've been with her.
Right. And why do you usually do you just have to stay back and help her in the mornings? Is that kind of
so it's like sometimes like she can't get up and move around well with her hip and stuff, and so it's just kind of like helping her get around and like go to the bathroom and bringing her food and stuff or anything she needs. And
no, those are all big things, and I would totally choose to be there for my grandma as well. So I completely understand. I'm gonna look more into your record and how many days you missed and stuff, just because if not, they'll get truancy involved, which is this is a completely valid excuse, because you're helping your grandma, but still we just have to follow all those rules and regulations, and I have someone I have to report to as well. So I just wanted to touch base on that and see that knowing it's mainly your grandmother. I feel like there's got to be something we can work out. Is there anything that you would need from me that I could maybe better help you? Because I'm here as like your advocate, in any way that I can help you, I want to do so.
I don't think so. Not that anything I can think of, really.
Right. That's okay. Well, I'm always here, if you ever need someone to talk to or, just vent or whatever. So know that you can always come here. And I just had a few more questions. Are you an only child? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, and you had mentioned your stepmother?
Yes.
Okay. So is your mom in the picture at all?
No, my mom actually passed away when I was really little, and so it was kind of just my dad and I for a while. And then he met my stepmom when I was really little. So she's kind of always just like been the mother figure in my life. So yeah, it's just my dad, my stepmom, and me, and my grandma.
Okay, nice. And is your grandma your stepmom's mom or your dad's mom?
My dad's mom.
Your dad's mom.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. And how has your grandmother been doing like since her husband passed away?
She's been okay. It's they're older, and so it's like kind of sad to say, but it was something she had kind of like, I guess in a way like was expecting. He didn't have terrible health, but there was definitely stuff that like played into it. But it wasn't like any like major heart attack or anything like that. But yeah, it definitely hit her hard, but we were all still around a little bit when that happened. Because it's been a while. It's been about like 6 or so years since he passed away. And so now like she's definitely had like enough time to adjust and everything. But she's always been kind of independent anyway. She's kind of been able to do things on her own, which is kind of why the hip thing kind of like really hit her hard, because now she kind of has to rely on somebody else.
Change the lifestyle.
Yeah,
for sure.
But it was hard for her for a little bit, but she definitely adjusted.
Okay, and is she pretty in good spirit for the most part, you feel like?
She is, yeah. She kind of has like really just relied like on like her church and stuff like that, and like staying involved in that. And so like they've definitely been like a huge support for her, but yeah, she for the most part is like very like high spirited about it, and like she's not one to wallow, so
that's good. So when does she go to church?
She usually goes every Sunday morning. She'll sometimes go on like Wednesday nights if she can. But it really just depends. Like sometimes like her hip won't let her get there, but like she sits there and watches her TV in bed. So like she tries to get as much Jesus as she can. So
that's good. Yeah, that's amazing. Do you feel similar?
Yeah, I definitely, I go with her. I grew up in the church too.
Okay.
And so I go with her every Sunday, and I have my youth services and stuff that we go to, which are right now, like, we're in the whole, like, transitioning period from, like, younger youth into, like, the actual, like, youth group with, like, the high school transition and stuff. So there's that, and, like, we have that support system kind of going on, but yeah, we try to go, like, as often as we can.
That's good. Do a lot of the kids that go to school here with you go to that youth group?
No, actually, a lot of them don't. There's only a couple that I know from school that are in the youth group, but they aren't people that I really see a lot around school. Like, I just know because I know their faces at school.
Right.
But yeah, no, not a whole lot of them. It's like a relatively small youth group. It's an
Okay.
older church, so it doesn't have a whole lot of youth in it to begin with. But it's still a fun place. I like it.
That's great. How does your grandma get to church?
She can drive. Like, she
can
has
drive.
a car.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
it's just dependent on, like, her hip and
health
stuff like
and how
that.
she's
Yeah.
feeling
So,
that
like,
day,
yeah,
right.
like, she still has her license and everything. Like, they didn't take that from her. Because she can still, like, when her hip is fine, like, for the past 2 years since, like, her recovery was over, like, after physical therapy and everything, like, she was fine. She'd get around. It's just been recently that, like, she's had serious issues, like, with her hip again. And so, that's made it difficult because, like, sitting in a car and driving, like, is hard
Right, I'm
and
sure
stuff.
that
So
hurts the hip.
yeah, so, like, that depends, but I also do have, like, my permit, and so, like, when she can't really drive and she still wants to go, like, I can drive us.
That's
and
good.
Stuff. So yeah, it's really just dependent on, like, who's gonna drive and if we can go kind of thing. So
Right.
yeah.
Well, that's good. That's good that you have that support
Mhm.
system. I would definitely recommend, like, finding maybe some of those kids from the youth group
Yeah.
here, you know, because
Mhm.
I think that would maybe be a good uplifting group to be around
Yeah.
that would understand the situation maybe
Mhm.
better than other. So that's good. And your friends now, do you feel like they are good support systems? Do you feel like they're uplifting?
I don't think they're not uplifting, but I don't think it's, like, something, like, that they go out of their way to, like, be super uplifting.
Mhm.
I'm not really sure how many of them, like, are or aren't religious in any way kind of thing. Like, my ones at school. But I mean, I don't think that they're, like, out to not be uplifting.
Right,
You know what I mean? But I don't think
absolutely.
they, like, make an effort to really, like, check in on, like,
Right.
personal lives and kind of thing. But I mean, like, they're kind of just, like, fun people to, like, have, like, silly conversation with and be around kind of thing and get you through the school day. But yeah.
That's good. That's good that you have them as kind of just like a place to hang out. And do you think that they would, or do they know about the situation with your grandma? I mean, for the most part, or do you kind of just keep that more to yourself?
They know, like, I live with her and that, like,
Okay.
why kind of thing. But I mean, like, not, like, super, like, deep details
Right.
of, like, how she injured herself, why she got, like,
Right.
a hip replacement and stuff. So yeah, they, like, know, like, the surface level of it all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Well, that's good that you have them, and I would just recommend to keep making those friendships and stuff.
Yeah.
But this has been great meeting with you, and I'm hoping for us to meet maybe on a regular basis in the future, if that's okay with you.
Yeah.
And just I'll kind of check in about the days missed, and I'll try to talk to the principal about kind of the situation that you're experiencing and stuff,
Okay.
so we can maybe get something worked out as far as like maybe excuse notes, or
Okay.
also I'm gonna look into that hardship license because I think that can
Okay,
help you
yeah.
a lot to get to school, you know, on those days that
Mhm.
you're running late, you could drive, you
Yeah.
know? So that would be good, but it's been great meeting with you.
Yes,
and
you
know
too.
I'm always here for you if you need me.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Yeah.